The Food and Business Research Program is one of the larger research programs that has been managed by NWO WOTRO, Science for Global Development. It's a research program that is part of the policy around the knowledge platforms that were installed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And this platform, the one that is related to this program, focuses on issues around food and nutrition security. The Food and Business Research Program has funded 75 research projects that are focusing on 29 project countries. One of the thematic areas that the synthesis studies focus on is scaling. And scaling emerged throughout the research program as this buzzword, this topic that everybody considered key to achieving zero hunger. But we learned throughout the research program that it's not as easy as it seems, and that there's much more to say about it, about its complexity. And this is where we think that the synthesis study really makes a contribution to the debate.
So scaling is not about reaching as many people as possible with an innovation. We think that scaling is a process of resolving or alleviating problems, for example related to food and nutrition security, by continuous learning what bundle of innovations is actually best able to tackle these problems. And in that process, scaling is not an end in itself to be pursued. No, instead, scaling is to be considered as a means to create the impact, as a means to resolve these problems.
The citizen science project was mainly about upscaling climate smart and nutrition sensitive varieties of beans, finger millet, wheat, and barley through various channels such as local seed businesses and farmer seed cooperatives by training them on quality declared seed production, but also upscaling these varieties through breeding programs for further improvement.
So we have analyzed and synthesized multiple projects that aim to scale for impact. And even in these cases where they try to achieve outcomes at scale, we see that there are 5 recurring blind spots. These are power and politics, discourse and framing, the enabling environment and policies, bottlenecks and interaction effects, and lastly, competencies for scaling.
The main blind spot for us in this project was really regarding the policy environment with which we were engaging. First of all, these varieties were climate smart, and at the same time, they are farmers' varieties that are not yet registered. So commercializing them is not possible because they have not been registered. So for us, we didn't, we saw this as a blind spot because it really impeded our process of upscaling. And to remedy that, we had to engage with the policymakers at the Ministry of Agriculture. And we had to provide research-based evidence that these varieties are indeed climate smart and they perform better in terms of yields and drought tolerance, to be able to have them registered in a separate list so that the farmers can commercialize them through alternative quality assurance measures like the quality declared seed system.
So these 5 blind spots are very important for actors to reflect upon when they are involved in scaling, because scaling is not value-free or neutral. It comes with a certain view about what food and nutrition security should look like, or how the problems in food and nutrition security are to be understood. So we have interviewed the project leaders and other partners in these consortia who are involved in the scaling, and we see that they're actually facing 3 dilemmas. The first one is, who moves first? The second one is, do we opt for more short-term gains, or do we have to go for more longer-term solutions? And the third one is, do we adopt more complex systemic perspectives, or do we look more at isolated interventions?
So the other dilemma was really on partnerships and mainly with engagement of private sector in the seed value chains, because on engaging them with seed that is not registered and therefore not certified would mean that we are breaking the law because they can't sell non-certified seed or non-registered seed. But the other dilemma was also because this is not certified seed, then the profitability would be low. So many private sector companies would not be willing to engage in something where the profitability is low.
Looking back, what for us was really exciting with the scaling article is that the synthesis studies really has allowed us to test some assumptions on scaling. Those research projects under study have practiced scaling, but they've also studied scaling. And by bringing together all that new knowledge and insights, it has been able to identify those blind spots and dilemmas that are part and parcel of scaling. And we think that because of that, it has a very rich contribution to the ideas and act of scaling.